Hi guys, it's me, Omega Wolflight, here with you again. You might be wondering about this video thanks to the title up top. Well, this video is to explain the creation, the progress, the story, the backstory of Teldryn Stormfang. My Morrowind character, yes, that Teldryn. However, to explain it, I have to explain a bit about my Oblivion character, my Arena character, which is not fully written, my Skyrim character, Drago! We love her Drago, don't we? The star of the channel. Who knows, maybe. And an ESO character. The Arena ESO character, they're not recorded. They're backstories. Blah blah blah. Who knows, if people want to actually see that stuff filmed, maybe I'll film it. Anyway. This main focus is on Teldryn, so I'll be showing you guys some footage where I explain all that. You might be thrown a bit off by the footage because we're talking about Teldryn and the game footage might look like the wrong game. But don't worry, I explain that in the video. Yes, I do. When the footage is done, we'll cut back to this logo of mine for I can do some last minute exclamations and comments and tell you guys bye. Yeah. Anything else? So yes, this is the story explanation. It's also explained the creation process, which means we have to go back and tell you about something in 2015 about some other characters I had. I didn't record them, but they were like prototypes to what we have now. So I will be explaining that in the footage. Anyways, I think it's about time we cut over to the footage. So, I'll see you when we're back. Alright? Now, on to the footage! Rolling video on 1, 2, and 3, 2, 1. Well, guys, you know my Morrowind and Oblivion character, right? As I mentioned? Don't remember. Morrowind character, Teldryn Stormfang. And you know my Oblivion character, right? Ulfric, Warwulf. I'm here to explain Teldryn Stormfang's backstory, which in turn leads us to the story of how I came up with Ulfric Warwulf, in a way. Sort of. Since this is main focus is about my Morrowind character, you might be wondering, why are we in Oblivion? Because when I'll show you. Gotta head down to the save. My mouse is freezing, sorry about that. I don't know why it's been doing that, but it has. Down, down, down. There we go, this one. See what it says there? Balmora Southwall Corner Club. Where's Balmora? Morrowind. You see, back in 2015, I was playing with... One second. I was playing with the Moral Oblivion mod, which transforms Oblivion into the game Morrowind. So, see his name? Last name? Stormfang. But this guy is a Nord, not a Dark Elf like Teldryn, but same last name. This is the prototype to Teldryn, basically. There was prototypes before this guy, which led to this, which ultimately eventually led to Teldryn. I didn't really explain Teldryn's backstory very well, did I? Well, I'll explain now. You know how it's odd how Teldryn's a Dark Elf, with a Dark Elf first name, but yet his last name doesn't sound Dark Elf? It might be Nordic? Might. In my canon it is. Well, ow! To explain this, we have to go back to the beginning. We're in the beginning now. I will now explain the backstory which was written for Teldryn, which kinda connects to the backstory to Ulfric Warwulf to a degree. They separate at a certain point. Teldryn, when he was a young child, so a kid Dark Elf, he was orphaned. Parents dead. He was adopted by a Nord clan. Yes, I know that was odd. They were a Nord clan, but not all their members were Nords, alright? They were more open-minded, which is rare, but it was a thing. They adopted him. He grew up, and so he bore their last name. The Stormfang clan. Which I'll say now is distant family, like relatives, distantly related to the Warwulf clan. So, Oblivion character. So in a way, Oblivion character and Morrowind character are kind of related, but I'll get to that. Teldryn grew up, and eventually at one point, because he did something, the clan disowned him and he got thrown in the Imperial prison and locked up. He was already in the Imperial prison for a good while before my Oblivion character got there, because the events of Morrowind take place 6 years before Oblivion. So he was in there before even my Oblivion character got there. In my story, Teldryn's like in his 20s or 30s, I think. I don't know how long he was there, but he was there before he got there. So he was released 6 years prior to that, and he had a very lonely time in that prison. He was in there for quite a while to be lonely. Eventually came the year when my Oblivion character, Ulfric Warwulf, was 17. He was sent to the Imperial City and locked up in prison. Him and Teldryn's cells were next to each other, so they kind of seen each other now and then, but didn't know. Fast forward 6 years before Oblivion. So, during that time, my Oblivion character would have been 23 years of age when Teldryn got released. So, Ulfric Warwulf was locked up at age 17. He was 23 when Teldryn got out. So, in other words, Teldryn is older. Dunmer makes sense. Tip for that. Okay, back to the point. Teldryn. Went 6 years before the Oblivion Crisis. He was sent by carriage and then later by ship to Morrowind, and that's where you saw him in the first episode. Arriving on a boat in Morrowind, getting his freedom, and having to go to Belmora. They see the Spy Master and blah blah blah, all that shit. Now to explain how the backstory was written. This character you're seeing right here in the load save, right here, Ulfric Stormfang. His story was he's the prototype to Teldryn, so their backstories were practically the same. I just retconned a bit of it and altered a bit. In the original backstory, this was the original plan for Morrowind. Teldryn would instead have been Ulfric Stormfang. It would have been a Nord, who was the reincarnation of Nerevar Enderall, as a double whammy, because I found it poetically hilarious and ironic. A dark elf being reincarnated as a Nord. A dark elf that fought against technically a Chama who fought against the ancient Nords gets reincarnated as a Nord. I was originally gonna go with that, but I scrapped the idea. So Teldryn could have been this. I scrapped the idea, but the rest of the backstory was the same. The Stormfang clan, except the difference was, in the original prototype, he wasn't adopted by the clan. He was born into it, because in the prototype, he was a Nord! So he was born into it. Eventually he would have done something they didn't like. He gets thrown in prison, blah blah blah, gets shipped to Morrowind, blah blah blah, comes to everything, blah blah blah, the usual. So I retconned it a bit. It also made a bit more sense. Him being a dark elf, they would have saw him as an easy scapegoat and had him locked up. It would have been harder to do that to one of their own kind. So it made more sense.
Look at the adopted child! He's a curse and he's a dumber! You're right, let's scapegoat him!
Blah blah blah. So I retconned that bit to make it so that my Nerevarine instead was a Dunmer. So it would have been a Chimer being reincarnated as a Dark Elf, which made a lot more sense since that's actually canon by Bethesda. The main character is supposed to be a Dunmer. So I rewrote it for he's a Dunmer. And it fit the backstory a bit better, because I was kind of stretching it. Why would they turn against their own kind? Now this makes more sense. They needed a scapegoat. This guy was adopted, and he's not even the same race. Made more sense. Made a lot more sense. So that became the Teldryn we all know and love. But we don't know we love him yet. The story barely started. We'll see. The Teldryn you guys all know right now. Its backstory was originally created for Ulfric Stormfang. It was retconned a bit for the guy would be an adopted Dunmer who was adopted when he was a child and then gets scapegoated, gets locked up, and shipped off. Other than that, their stories were basically the same. This was the prototype. However, as I mentioned before, there was a prototype before this guy. Now, how far back do we have to go to find him? Is the question. There was a previous prototype that was even a prototype to Ulfric Stormfang, which is the prototype to Teldryn. There we go, this guy. Ulfric Warfang. This guy's another prototype. So he was a prototype. Eventually I ditched him to create the Stormfang, which I eventually ditched to create Teldryn Stormfang. But the lore I wrote for the Warfang clan didn't get erased. The Warfang clan is still a thing. Warfang clan is still a thing. As you guys probably don't know, I also play Elder Scrolls Online. The Warfang clan? My character on there? So, I ditched this guy to not be in Oblivion and not to be in Morrowind. This guy was going to be a prototype to the Oblivion or Morrowind one, I wasn't sure. Eventually, he doesn't become the prototype for the Morrowind one. That comes Ulfric Stormfang, who then becomes Teldryn Stormfang. This guy didn't become the Oblivion one, that becomes Ulfric Warwulf. This guy gets scrapped from being those two, but I found a place for his story. We must go back to the Second Era, during the Alliance War, when the Soul Burst happened, when Malak Bal tried to play me out. Yes, I'm talking to you about the plot of Elder Scrolls Online. My character for that is the ancestor to Ulfric Warwulf, and by extension, the ancestor to the one and only Drago Warwulf Fang. Yep, that's right. My infamous Skyrim character. It's true. I have written it that my Oblivion character is the ancestor to my Skyrim character. My ESO character is the ancestor to my Oblivion character by blood. He's not the ancestor by blood to my Morrowind character. He's only an ancestor because the Morrowind character got adopted by the family that's actually related to the guy. Yeah, that. However, I have written that some of the Dark Elves I meet in ESO might actually be related by blood to Teldryn. There's two likely choices. A certain captain who becomes a commander, and a certain house. By house I'm referring to a great house. Anyways. It's been a while since I've played ESO, but if I remember things right, that my ESO character's clan name was originally Warfang. Here's the lore for it. There used to be a lot of them. Eventually they were mostly killed off during the Alliance War. The few remaining ones joined the Ebonhod Pact, while the others who stayed neutral were practically slaughtered by the Worm Cult. And one of them was captured, brought to the Imperial City, and sacrificed to Mobile by Manamarco himself. That becomes my ESO character. As you know, you are in the beginning of the game like sacrifice and you escape from Cold Harbor, blah 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 blah, trying to get your soul back. Yeah, that one. However, most of the survivor members of the clan left originally to join the war, and most of them were already killed. The few remaining ones were on Bleak Rock Isle, but they were among those soldiers who were sent on that ship, and, well, they're probably dead. So in a sense, my ESO's character is the last living clan member, but currently, since that character never is still ongoing, I do that like on my own free time type thing, because I'm not that big on MMOs, so I just play that off screen or stream it now and then. Unlike this type, I don't like to make a series on that type of thing. Might one day, who knows. Whenever you buy the game later on. Anyway, point being, technically all members were dead, and the only living member technically has already been killed. Because you know, you die, you get sacrificed, your soul is driven, then you get a living body again. Then you eventually get your soul back, so then technically he's counted alive again. Right now he's basically a walking corpse. He just has a body that looks like it's alive. Yeah. So in a way, practically the clan's dead. The lore I wrote for this in the vast future, eventually he still has the name. But all other known members are dead. He joins Ebonhard hoping he might come across other members. Chances are he won't. Eventually, I don't know how far in the future that will be, but eventually he'll decide to form his own clan. technically be the only one with that name left. He'll have his descendants. They'll try to form their own, but they'll splinter off. Then 2 new clans will be born as a result of his descendants' actions. The Warwulfs and the Stormfang clan, who are also distantly related. They split off, but they don't hate each other. They're not like trying to kill each other. No. They split off to form 2 separate clans, but no. Actually, no, I'm getting a little bit too far ahead of myself there. There was a 3rd. Okay, no, if I remember right. Oh, scratch that. I'm thinking too far ahead. So after my ESO character's descendants, a new clan was born. This new clan, a member of it is my Arena character. Yes, the first Elder Scrolls game, Arena character, has that name. During that war that happened during the 10 years of Arena, they splinter off again, and 2 new clans are formed. That's when I think we get to Stormfangs and the Warwolves. I'm gonna have to go double check my scripts for that. But there's a lot of splintering off, assimilation, splintering off, assimilation, splintering off. There's a lot of that, okay? But the furthest back I've been able to trace it back to is my ESO character. That's the furthest ancestor you'll be able to see in any of my playthroughs. Technically, when I start doing a playthrough in ESO, then you can see that ancestor. For now, you can't see him, but he's only because there's no games that take place in the first era, so I kind of can't show that. We can't. This is as far back as I can go in gameplay-wise. The rest I could write out. Yeah. Currently, that's okay for the first hour, but who knows what Bethesda will do in the future. Hopefully. I'm not bringing Elder Scrolls 6 into this topic right now. Anyway, that's a whole different topic for its own little thing. Now, we'll wrap this up. Wait, no, we're not wrapping this up. So, ESO character is technically the furthest back ancestor you see. He was the survivor of another clan. That clan's practically dead. He goes, creates a new one, sort of, well, tries. His descendants kind of finish the job. Or he I don't remember. I never finished that character. Point is, he kind of built a new clan, but the descendants also kind of did the same. I never finalized if it's him that builds it, or he comes up with the plan that the descendants fulfill the plan. I never finished that part in the story. So for now, just say it's... If you say it's the descendants that build it, or you say it's him to build it. Either way, they're both right. Now, that forms into that. Oh, the one clan I'm forgetting right now. I'll have to go back and check on that later. But a member of that clan will be my character from Arena. As we know, a decade passes in that game. Within that decade, a lot of wars happen. That will force the clan he was part of to split up again! And then that will bring us... Then that brings us to the Stormfangs and the Warwolves. If I said that right. So, Warfang survivor technically builds another clan. If it's the descendants did or he did it, I haven't decided. Next notable member of the new clan that was just made by the... So, survivor Warfang clan. Builds a new clan or it's descendants did, I haven't decided. This new clan, fast forward to the 3rd era now, to the events of Arena. The first notable, important, great member of that clan that is an Elder Scrolls hero, basically. pops up, and that is the eternal champion of Elder Scrolls 1, the Arena. That character would be a member of that. But Teldryn said wars that happened during that whole decade-long crap. I'll be doing the decade-long crap. A splitter happened again, which that splitter, if I remember my scripts right, led to the Stormfang clan and the Warwulf clan. So that brings then the next noble members, and those two are Teldryn Stormfang for Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind, and Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And don't forget, Oblivion character is the ancestor of my Skyrim character. And my ESO character is the ancestor of my Oblivion character, so that also makes him the ancestor of my Skyrim character. Now you might be wondering, I didn't mention Daggerfall. Well, there is a character for Daggerfall, but he's not related to any of my other characters whatsoever. He's a new guy, perfectly new. I haven't really finished coming up with ideas for him yet, but he's nowhere at all related to the other four. Well, that's not exactly true. From the bit of lore I have written for him so far, he's part of a famous family that knew the Eternal Champion after he saved Uriel Septon. He ruled at the Emperor's side. They were a powerful family that came part of the Imperial Court. And the guy became a very good friend of the Emperor, so he did a lot of great things. So, of course, since the Eternal Champion was always by the Emperor's side now, he's met the Eternal Champion, like, spoken with him, seen him, heard of him, all that jazz, but is not related to him. The Eternal Champion is like his role model, my hero, that type of thing. Of course, Daggerfall does the whole time skip thing too, so, by time skip, I mean like how an arena takes a decade. That's what I meant. Don't get me started on flipping dragon breaks. Don't get me started on that. Anyway. Since that character was never finished being made, I'm still writing the backstory for that guy. I never really finished making the character in Daggerfall, so there's no Daggerfall playthrough going on. Arena guys had a bit more backstory written, but he's not ready to be started yet either. So yeah. But the backstories are more bit developed on his end. My Daggerfall guy. Daggerfall guy is like a standalone hero, not related to Teldryn, Ulfric, and whatever my arena name was, or my ESL guy. The only connection is he's seen the Eternal Champion, he's spoken with him, seen him, and they're both members of the same court. That, and both good friends of the Emperor. And he respects the Eternal Champion, sees him as a role model. That's as close as he gets with relation to him. Other than that, there is no blood relation to any of the heroes whatsoever. So I can do a bit more with them. I haven't decided. Anyway, back onto topic. This Warfang guy eventually helped create the ancestor, the ESO one. So the clan name was taken. And the race. But other than that, most of everything I probably had written for the Warfang guy was scrap. It was like 2 years ago. So give me a break, I can't remember everything, and mouse is freezing. Story for Ulfric Stormfang was eventually retconned to fit and rewritten to fit Teldryn Stormfang everything else stayed the same, but the changes were he's a dark elf and he got adopted and he became a scapegoat. Everything else stayed the same. Now I guess I could go mention the Oblivion character, Ulfric Warwulf. Yeah, Ulfric Warwulf. About him. Like I said, he was locked up when he was 17. I could go a bit more detail in his backstory here, but I feel like that's a topic for its own fucking video. So I will do that a different time. Probably in another video. Separate. But I can tell you a bit more of it, though. Forward in his backstory, not going back. I made a pun. Anyway. He locked up at 17. I can explain the reasons in a separate video, because I'll take up too much time. When he's 23, Teldryn gets shipped out to Morrowind. And so this guy doesn't get out until he's 29. So yeah, he was technically in prison overall a bit longer than Teldryn, sort of. Because Teldryn was in there for a shorter amount of years, but Teldryn was also older. So he had more prison time than Teldryn, even though Teldryn was there first. Yeah. Sad to say. I can now explain the Skyrim and Oblivion connection. Skyrim has a gap between Oblivion and 200 years. Look at my character Drago's last name. Warwulf-Fang. During the 200-year gap, my Oblivion character had already become the champion Cyrodiil, so he's popular and famous. He eventually meets his clan again. Just like Teldryn, they kind of forsake them. They kind of meet up, and they, in short, feel bad for what they did. Champion Cyrodiil holds no regrets for it, and by this time... Okay, so... Shortly after, sometime after he becomes Champion Cyrodiil, he meets up with the actual members of his clan. They actually do forgive each other and leave on good terms, but they come to inform him during the time he was locked up, they kind of did something to the clan name. They chose to rewrite the clan name and ask if he wanted it. My Oblivion character then goes, nope. I want to keep it how it is, so they leave and that. So, since that's when he's champion, sometime after becoming champion Cyrodiil, so it's technically the 4th era. When the 4th era technically starts when Martin 7 does that thing. So it's technically that era when they meet up. Either way. And then we fast forward 200 years on that. During the 200 years, the clan goes digging through its history like fucking crazy. And eventually finds some bit of history they forgot about. This is where I'll make something. Sometime between Morrowind and Oblivion, during the 6-year gap between Morrowind and Oblivion, the Stormfang clan was really practically dying off fast. So they needed help from their family, the other clan related to them. So the Warwulf clan had the Stormfang clan assimilated into them. And that's how they survived. Thus, two clans become one, so in other words, Teldryn and Oblivion character are now related. Well, technically related before, but now technically they're part of one clan. So even more related. Then, sometime after my character becomes the champion of Cyrodiil, my Oblivion character, they rewrite the name of the clan a bit. And I already mentioned that. Now, sometime during the 200-year gap, they go back enough in history and find the Stormfang clan that got assimilated into them. Then they go further back, and they eventually find mention of the Warfangs, and out of respect, they decide to revive the Fang part of the name to respect the Stormfangs and where the Stormfangs came from. So thus, the clan went through some changes again, and technically became a new clan again. So the Warwulf, Stormfangs, and Warfangs were now no more, but they were reborn as the Warwulf-Fang clan, which is the Stormfang, Warfangs, and the Warwulfs on one clan. So, when they found that history out, they just chose to change the name of it. But in the clan's eyes, technically the clan was reborn as a new clan. They were still the Warwolves, they were still the Stormfangs, and they were still the Warfangs. They did a renaming thing again, yes. But by reviving the Fang name, they felt like they were a new clan again. A newly born clan. It felt like a rebirth to them. So in their history, they called it where the Warwolves that have assimilated the Stormfangs were now reborn as the Warwolf clan. And such became a new clan, but the history's still there. The histories of the Warwolves, Warfangs, Stormfangs, they're still technically the Warwolf clan, but the clan members declared this is a rebirth. We are now the Warwolf clan. We're a totally new clan. But they didn't erase their histories or anything like that. The histories were still intact and kept and taught and blah blah blah. Just personally, they felt like it was more of a rebirth than a changing of names. And then that brings us to Drago. That's why it's the Warwolf part spelled that way. Yeah. So now you know. Teldryn was eventually born from a Morrow Oblivion character who was a prototype. Who was the product of a past Oblivion character. Who then became inspiration to an ESO character. They're all connected. Which then also in such became the inspiration for an arena character. Oh boy, this is a mess. For those who want a bit more on the Oblivion character's backstory, that's for a separate video. I think this whole thing has gone long enough. In short, this video was more created to explain Teldryn. The only reason I didn't use Morrowind footage for this is because I had to explain where Teldryn's backstory came from. I had to show you the product, which was Ulfric Stormfang, who was creating the Morrow Oblivion mod, which means I had to show you the save. So yeah, now know a good gist of Teldryn. Where Kakon and only a bit retcon and rewritten created Teldryn. Who in another life might have been an orc. Interesting, huh? Anyways. Yeah. Well guys, that was my explanation, story, reasoning, creation process, inspiration of Teldryn, Stormfang, my character, and Morrowind, and a bit of hints of my Oblivion backstory, a bit of the connection to its Skyrim character, and a bit of other characters you haven't seen, but I have. I hope this helps ease up some questions, give you some more answers, and hope you enjoyed. And sorry for this video being so long. Went on a bit of a rant anyway. Bye-bye!